backpack to put all the things in.
And again, I say one of the significant factors in that is meds. A lot of people always think about ammo and everything else like that. The limited amount of meds you can pick up makes it really, really hazardous anytime you take any shots going through there. So a big factor ends up being trying to just constantly keep your meds up. So you end up doing like this little mini looting a lot of the time. But since nobody has any backpacks, there always tends to be something around on the ground next to you.
Yeah, well, and even in the fight you might be getting into, so you can ensure that those parties don't also have enough meds. So you can knock them down. And usually what happens is the knock ends up getting, if they get revived, will heal up. Maybe they're not going to be able to heal up. Boom, boom, win-win.
Multiple downs are a big factor inside of this. So plane path coming through, going to be going over from the southwest over towards the northeast. Making it pretty much hard unless you want to go to like Zarki or Severny or something along those lines. Even Severny might even be within drop range. Georgia Pool could be a little bit of risk. You have to do a little bit of a long drop over there. But we do have a couple of people look like they're making the stretch over towards Military Base Island this time around.
Yeah, at least 2 teams?
Looks to be that way. 2 different duos could be dropping around the same location. Looks like Gil's going to be making his way over towards Primorsk, and then no surprise, right in the middle of the map is when everybody's going to be dropping. And most of them are doing a stretch up towards the north, so it's going to be that Razak, Ruins, School, Pachinki, maybe the stretch over towards Georgia Pools, where most of the guys are going to be headed over to.
I bet you this circle, the first circle, ends up more north. Going to Zarki might not hurt you in this instance, just from what we've seen with these flight paths and the initial circle. Here we are with fellow Twitch streamer. It's so tiny.
I know, it's so small.
But is she wearing cat ears or is that in the background?
I think it's in the background.
Oh, wait, it's the background. Okay.
All right, guys, so remember, voting is now up and active as well. So with that, if you're having trouble accessing it, make sure you hit that refresh button on your browser. Press F5. Either way, it goes through. So we still have one more round in South America before we make our way over towards North America. So with this, you have one last chance to vote for what you could see in this. Nanda! That's going to be it. Nanda, wow, coming through here.
Pode ser o cara, pode ser o cara.
So we're going to get the circle that's up and active. Not the most polite circle. I got to say, Game 2 had like one of the cruelest circles we've seen in quite a while that was like all the way down there, essentially centered around Novo. This time around, everybody that did a little bit of a stretch is making their way over there. So we got a little bit of a fight going off in Ruins right now. But we've got Nanda that's going to be kind of going through the looting process.
Remember when back in the day, the Ruins was a place to drop? Like, you just went, like, that was the cool place to drop it back in the day. Ruins. That's where we're going. And then it was just like, nope, don't go there anymore.
Well, Ruins was kind of, like, it's always been, for most people, School, Pachinki. Those were, like, the de factos. But now that people have been playing...
way back, Matron.
Yeah. Like, Ruins was a big place where a lot of people would fight. Because that's always the way it would go down, is, like, everybody would start dropping towards School, and then you have people like, oh, there's way too many people here. And then they pull off, and they either go towards Rajak, or they'd go, no one ever goes over towards Ruins or Sunken City. And then, next thing you know, that's where all the violence starts happening at.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of loot over there.
All right, so with this, naturally, Nanda opting into shot. We were told the fact that it is choose wisely, but we can see a lot of shotgun play coming in here. Is it shotguns and SMGs? We just don't know it. Because at this point, with the amount of loot should be on the ground, she should have pretty much anything she wanted if it was choose wisely.
Oh, you're right. I mean, we'll find out.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. All right, so with 71 people up and alive. Oh, no, there we go. There we go. Okay, there's the DP on the ground. She just had a bad drop, so those things happen.
Unfortunate.
So a lot of people go back and forth about the DP. I really like the DP. I think it has a lot of like interesting uses. One of the most is the fact that whenever you just like lay out a ton of bullets, everybody tends to assume that you have to reload. Just with the size of the magazine, you still get a chance to like spray for a little while, and then you want to go for that reload. But if you actually opt away from it and stay with like that 15 or 20 bullets you have left, people think that, oh, going for a reload, and they might try to go for a push, and you can get a really solid kill out of it.
The flip on that is being the one with the DP, and you just reactionary do hit that reload, and you're like, oh no, I'm going into a 30-second reload animation. And you're hitting that F with the quickness.
Now we're popping over here with Nathalia and Trollpolly. They're one of our military-based teams right now. Getting themselves that level, I think that was the level 2 body armor there. Getting themselves a little bit more loot. Nathalia, your stream.
Look, so this is a human anatomy, and that circle was representing an ailment.
One of the things I've noticed is nobody at this point still uses like the ability to actually see your character at all. Anytime anybody ever brings up the inventory, everybody's closed it down. There was that period of time where it was like, if you turn off the ability to see your character and just do the outline, then you get more frames. And since then, nobody ever uses it. It's just like gone.
Não, olha na janela.
Does that affect the entire gameplay though? Or just when you're in your
Tu tá com as balas verdes? Então, tem mais
It was just whenever you had the inventory open, but then it was there was a lot of debate back and forth. You know how Reddit can be sometimes. They were like, oh, it affects everything, and it does this, and does all this other stuff.
Because I like to see my character. Oh, goodness.
No.
Over here with Donald.
Okay, that's right.
Taking a couple
Quase
shots
chutou no
here.
meu boga.
Running back over, got himself the UMP
Nem sei
and
de
the
onde foi, mas
M16.
eu tava tomando. Acho que ele
Running similar to kind of what you were talking about you wanted to do.
Não,
There we go.
I love the exasperated side. That's kind of this game mode. You run up,
Não,
you're
pô, eu
like,
acho que ele me viu lá das casas.
do I want this or do I not want this? What's the best way to go here?
I think he's a little tilted. He got fired at already.
Quase deu dano, é que eu tava sem capacete, se eu tomo uma bala ali já era.
We are here with Donald.
Seja um birico.
Look at Philip coming in here and saying you literally lose 100 FPS with render character on. I know it's pretty bad.
But the entire game. That's
I
my
don't
question.
I don't think it's
Only
100.
when inventory.
Ficar de olho pra cima.
To be honest, I actually haven't done the tests on it. That's probably more like a wacky Jackie question. I know he had put out a video about it.
It has to be only for the inventory because I'd still get like 140 frames.
Caralho.
So you're saying you have an awesome PC?
I do.
Look at
Tem
you.
mochila não, viado.
That's on the low side.
Just out here, just shaming everybody with
Jogo
their
sem
computers.
noção, velho.
No, I was just saying that if there's no way I could be 100 more than that.
Pega revólver, se possível, e deixa ele com 7 balas, entendeu? Aqui,
So
os caras
dropping
tão
into a
aqui, ó,
fairly
tão vindo aqui,
centered
tão vindo aqui.
location, all things considered.
Aonde?
Still trying to keep an eye on what's going on. Oh, and there you go. Spotting somebody while they're doing the jumps for
Não,
vision.
negativo.
Keep in mind, we are playing with no backpacks, so these shots
Deu
ring
nenhum.
through real hard, real quick.
Vamos?
No meds, even if they get the res off, there's going to be very limited meds. So I like this. Capitalize off of kills. That's a big thing inside of duos. If you get the down, it's close range, go. He's trying to charge up, but he's not running straight over in that direction. He's trying to go for a little bit of a side maneuver so that way he doesn't crest right into their line of sight.
também.
Right. Donald and 100 more, they've been doing such a great job inside the rounds coming into this. Just looking over, trying to figure out where the crawler is going back for. They got the down. Now they're just trying to look to figure out where it's going. I gotta say, Donald has a lot of ads going on inside of his stream. He's got a lot of people sponsored. Oh, he's gonna go ahead and flush him out there.
Laying it up. 17 points.
Não, weón.
No big deal.
Estoy buscando.
69 left alive. Oh, now we're over here with.
Wait, isn't that where your... Yeah, I was gonna say, buddy, that's where your duo partner is. You don't want to throw nades into him. All right, steps up and forward, trying to take a couple of pot shots. You can see the fact that... A little bit. Duo partner steps forward, gets the down.
No he puesto
It's
muchísimo.
the board. Look how beautiful that is.
No vas a la mierda.
She's got that color wave going through.
¿Quién era?
I gotta say, it's pretty brave. We're using the orange
No,
UMP skin.
Ah, no.
Anytime I ever rock that skin, it just feels like I'm running around with like this giant flare that's following around, being like, look, shoot at the orange thing.
No hay mochila.
Yeah, if I ended up having to pick up someone's gun and it's got a skin on it already, I am quick to take it off.
I see you in chat, Real McCoy. How do you get spread apart in duos like that? I was asking the same question to myself. I'm thinking that maybe they separated out, trying to go for more loot. But with this
One goes
mode,
left, one goes right. Then,
but
boom,
with this
you're
mode,
separated.
there's tons of loot, so you don't really need to like separate out that far. But I do like this strategy, running some type of sniper weapon, so that way you don't have to necessarily lean into a lot of loot, then following it through with a weapon that uses the same amount of ammo. So rocking something like the M24 and the AK is actually kind of strong. The only problem with it is 7.62 takes up so much space. But that being said, there's always 7.62 out and around on the floor.
Again, with these glowy graphics, I'm drawn in right now. Ribox?
Pop him over here with Ribox, I believe. Yep. Ribox and his duo partner, Lucas. All right. You can see the circle starting to condense down now. We got a couple of people up. There's actually a fight happening north of Stallberg. That is fairly random. You don't tend to see too many people actually condensing around that location. Military base people look like they're making an exodus over towards the safe zone right now. Meanwhile, it looks like Papaya and Yulol are up on top of Everest at the direct time.
Look at that team up at the top right corner.
That's what I was saying. Like, that's just the most random place to have a fight this early in the game.
Yeah.
All right, so coming over here, you can see that pretty much centered around Everest Gatka area. So pretty easy transition for a lot of people. This is kind of one of the riskier points of PUBG whenever everybody's having to drive in. Really, it's about that eastern side of the circle where there's a lot of people already kind of set up and kind of positioned. So you kind of have to run through a gauntlet if you make an approach on that. So a lot of these people that are coming in much later could find themselves having to kind of like vie for different positions. There's a lot of teams already in a set location.
Right. On the two-seater, strolling with his buddy. Tandem into the next location.
And this is the risky part, because whenever you're both on a vehicle like this, keep in mind, a lot of these people have phenomenal aim. So when you kind of bunker down into the same vehicle, making a late rotation such as this, you're kind of a target set and ready to go. And there you go. That's what I like. Switch over. Go ahead and teach that other motorcycle some respect.
Oh, they were on a three-seater. Oh, I totally missed the sidecar on the...
Well, I understand. I don't like to sit in the sidecar either. Snuggle up with your duo partner instead of sitting in the sidecar. That thing bounces around so much.
Yeah. The only thing about going tandem, I don't think you can. Well, on a motorcycle, a two-seater, you can't shoot if you're on the back. I don't know if you can now on the three-seater. But that's the perks of sitting in the sidecar, is you can at least defend yourself from anybody.
Yeah, you can use your rifles and stuff like that.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just a sitting target.
Very late rotating. I do like. Now the question comes into play. You can see the fact that the way that they're going to have to encroach in here. This is where a lot of the duos are kind of positioned up at. Looks like they're opting, and they've already marked the fact that they're just going to opt into edge play. Edge play can be pretty strong, but whenever a lot of teams seem to have the similar idea, specifically on this part of the map, because remember, we're looking at a western circle, so you have to assume that a lot of teams are going to be around the same general position.
Low quicks coming in on this motorcycle. He's so close to his donation goal. Who is going to make that final donation to round that out in the name of Broadcaster Royale?
Position up. And this is some pink going down here.
Pink!
Over here with Terror and Rules? In one rule? In run rules?
Yeah, N1 rules maybe? Raw Terror and N1 rules?
But I think that we're actually with Alel ADC. Given everything that's on the right side of it. With the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube, the Twitter. Then at the same time, the top UI also says.
Yeah, so this was in a unique situation where the PUBG game name, in-game name, is very different from the Twitch handle. This is twitch.tv/AlelaDC, like you said.
All right, now popping over here in Chopsticks, we've got Nugaweed and Kazask. Kazask? There we go, Kazask. Sorry, guys. See, I got my glasses back this time. If you guys remembered last round, I accidentally forgot my glasses.
You showed everyone your Superman face. You're supposed to keep your glasses on to keep your identity hidden, Matrim.
Speaking of getting hidden, you can see that they're full commit to hiding down inside here right now. Looks like they can hear some footsteps. So listening, I don't hear them the same way. Long range shots coming through. Those are pretty far off in the distance.
Ooh, leaderboard.
Auto.
A little bit of flashback. Remember, we got Norancha that is in first place with 917 points. Falling back behind that, about 99 points back behind them is Otako E Anti-Otaku. Then Never Pony, ATR, Screer, Panama coming back behind that. And then, do you want to try to take a stab at how to say 7? See, I just put you on the spot there so that way I didn't have to do it. I just threw you under the bus. Like, cool. I have no idea how to pronounce that, so it's your job now.
Yeah, I don't care. Jack can accost me all they want. I'm going to try. You know, that's the thing. That's the first step is trying. So, wow, look at that size of the fonts. Let's go. Loud
hey, I could see that without my glasses.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that.
All right.
There's something very interesting happening on the right side.
Are there stickers on his wall? Is that what that is?
Now, see, this is a full commit on how to...
up.
Like, this is shack life epitomized right now. Whenever you're caught in a shack and there's nothing to do, just relax, kick back,
light a cigarette.
relax and touch. I mean, we've all been there. We know once you commit to living inside the shack and you're all by your lonesome, you just are stuck there.
Did you see that? He literally was like, yeah, I'm just going to sit. It's early game. I'm just going to sit here and wait. I'm not trying to fight anybody.
That's just the full, okay, I'm opting into passive play for about the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Hey, however you need to make it into the top 5, you do it. That's what you got to do. He's just not going to be able to get those kills. 17 points apiece.
All right, so it looks like we're over here with Primino and Aguirre. Anarquia. There we go. I'm good with that. Oh, hyping himself up. Here's the shot.
I thought that was literally you, Matrim. Oh my goodness! Is he like a monkey?
We're trying to communicate. No, okay, it's not back for
We're
it.
doing good.
Sorry about that, Twitch chat. That might have hurt your
Tem
ears.
sim, primo. Tem gente
Oh,
que sim,
everyone's
viado.
yelling.
Keep in mind, we've got
Tem
Trick
gente
2G
que
that's going to be playing through this. That was whenever it was announced the fact that he's going to be one of the invites. I was just like kind of happy about that because if you ever tune into Trick's stream, he tends to get kind of loud. So I would love whenever we were bouncing in between all these different streams, we pop into Trick and it would just be like eardrums gone.
That's kind of, yeah.
So you can see almost everybody's made their way inside the safe zone. A couple of skirmishes happening right on the edge. Got a couple of duos that are kind of gatekeeping their way through. Lots of people leaning into a directed center strategy. So there's two big ways to play PUBG. There's a lot of people that like to play for the edge and then wait for a reposition. There's other teams that just like to do up center so that way less of a mathematical chance that they'll have to move. Given the way that the circle's kind of playing out right now with 51 people still up and alive, kind of opting in for center this early is pretty strong. But as you can tell right now, Narquia kind of looking around. He knows that he's got a ton of people around him already.
He has the force with him. Do you see? He's got the stormtrooper in the back. He's just like, I got this. Do you see that confidence? He's like, Chad, I got this.
But here's the problem. If you choose a stormtrooper as your spirit animal, what is that like saying about your aim? They're like the most notoriously like. Whenever you think about stormtroopers, like one of the first things you think of is can't ever shoot.
Maybe it's a motivation to be better than that. You
This is
can
true.
do better.
Keep looking over there. At least I'm not as bad as the stormtroopers.
Já muda de casa, viado. Agora qual casa?
All right, new circle's popped. You can see excited because it's right next to him, but naturally he's not inside the safe zone. I'm kind of curious if our friend that's deciding to live inside the shack, if he was still inside the circle, or if now if he has to stop relaxing and then make his way over into the safe zone.
What would make it even that much better is if he just propped his feet up.
Just kick back and relax.
Yeah, I want to see that.
All right, look at the duo partner. Mignon. I like his idea here. You can see that there's all these painkillers on the ground. He's at full loot already, so if you're just passing by him, might as well go ahead and use some.
Yep,
and then,
absolutely.
I mean, he's still at full life, but naturally get a little bit more of that movement speed. All right, we got Pimp and Raylene doing a little bit of push over towards Shark of Baltimore and Pippa, who are separated out. See, Raylene, they're doing a slow sweep through here. My Pippa is in the building right in front of them in that blue.
Yeah,
Well, Shark is over in the yellow building. Shark with a nice shot to connect through. Just jumps out, jumps back in. Res following up close, though. Pippa not choosing to make any actions. You can hear the footsteps, though.
Oh.
There you go. Steps over and through. Nice shots onto Pippa. So this is a 1v1 situation.
Nice.
Goes to the little bit of a crack on a rock, and Raylene just mops it up.
That was good. He was able to hear the footsteps coming around, and so he stopped the res. Sometimes you think, oh, but there's only half a second. I'm going to complete it, and that sometimes could be your death as they are able to make a way around that corner and take you out. So he decided, nope, give me a sec. I'm just going to try to clean this up real quick, and was able to 1v2 that and res his teammate move on.
Yeah. Speaking of which, hi, Bankai. We can see that you and Pooch are inside here, inside chat. You guys were playing in yesterday. Really love to see you.
And just so you know, Matchroom just waved in the air.
I did. I waved like I was on camera.
He waved. That was cute.
Yeah, these are the things that I do when nobody is looking.
Except I'm outing you. I'm telling everyone.
Raylene had a very strong performance inside of Season 1. One of the people that we bounced and just showed up and hung out on their streams for quite a while. Known for a phenomenal aim. Great play, all things considered. And nice shots coming out for blocks. Not getting the down, but again, remember, limited backpack space, so every single one of these shots is so influential due to the amount of meds. And specifically, if you start knocking off people's armor, less than they can carry.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys missed that. If you missed the bottom.
Oh no! Oh no, Dacia!
Did you see the way that it kind of just leaned hard into the front?
It is taking so many shots. 46 people alive. This is the problem with late rotations. You can see Dacia's just trying to find somewhere to go. Nowhere to go. Long range shots coming in, getting the down.
Oh, there was somewhere to go. He went straight to Death Town.
You see, trying to run their way back over to the water. That's the safety. Whenever your Dacia starts getting sprayed, it's like, okay, guys, we just got to commit to the water at this point.
Yeah, the water adds a little barrier from bullets. So you just got to make it there before they blow you up or shoot you out.
Voy con vos y los comemos a esos.
Me para ese que...
I like the fact that they're kind of posted up in one of the traffic positions, because that's one of the things. If you're going to opt into a little bit more of a centered strategy, if you can get to a couple of these locations and you have faith in your aim, you can get to these kind of convergent points or choke points where you know people tend to travel through and just net yourself some free kills. And with 17 points per kill, that's absolutely insane.
I don't know. I'm just sitting here thinking, this could be a really nice spot in this shade to have a picnic.
All right. So I can see you over there, Pudge. I kept being told that Pudge, PUJ33, it was Pudge. Chat kept telling us it was Pudge. And now you're saying you have multiple pronunciations.
Wait,
Tell
what?
us.
I was calling it Pooji.
That's because Moses was baiting you yesterday.
Mother crackers.
Moses spent all day yesterday just baiting.
No!
That was the whole thing that was going on all day.
Oh my gosh. All right, chat. So, you know, I never got a chance to cast with Moses on desk, and he has just been at me today.
No, don't vault there. You're already getting shot,
Yes,
buddy.
no, but he needed a vault there so that we could see the gloriousness of that ragdoll flail into the
Falling off
uphill.
the other side.
Uphill, it didn't matter. Anyways, my goodness. Moses, I have something. What is it? A knuckle sandwich? No.
Bora lá, bora lá, bora lá.
Dang it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Cloud Fuel.
Never trust-
Lesson number 1, never
Dang
trust
it.
Moses.
I
See,
mean-
I've got months of casting with Moses.
what am I
like,
gonna do?
a prime example, he kept trying to tell me like he didn't watch Game of Thrones. And
I
then the
don't
whole
watch
rest
Game
of the
of Thrones.
cast, he was just like, oh, this is like the Battle of the Trident and throwing out all this stuff. Moses lifted bait.
Gosh darn it, Moses. Ugh.
Narquia going over there and just going to go ahead and flush out Troll Paul. He was trying to jump over a second ago. Keep in mind, we still got 40 people alive. Circle's now on the other side of the river. So Prominio and Narquia are going to have to make a cross over the river, which is essentially a death trap. So it looks like they're going to try to circle around, make their way all the way across the river and go to that convergence point, because it looks like it's going to be centered in right around the cubes that are just to the west of Georgia, or just to the east of Georgia Pool. Hey, no surprise.
Wow, look at all the
We
people.
do have Papaya still alive and looks like taking over the Wizard Tower. I think that's like the running game that we have decided to play. Has Papaya gotten a kill yet this round?
Atrás, boludo.
Roblox has gotten himself a couple of shots going through, trying to connect. He did lose his duo partner a second, got down, but does manage to get vengeance to turn this into a 1v1. But he is under fire from so many angles and gets taken down.
Good night.
I just love seeing the diminishment of ammo coming through here. So we got Yalal taking a couple of pot shots over here with Papaya. We're just talking about him over here, living in the Wizard Tower. This is a strong point to catch people as they're having to move in this location. Because keep in mind, a lot of people are probably down to the south having to make their cross over here. But it looks like they're trying to catch people making their way out from Georgia Pool. They'll all just beat it in. Look at that face of concentration.
Yeah, they're going to have to rotate up. Anyways, oh, hello.
Try to run using the UAC as cover, but it's just slowly rolling down the hill. Can he make it to the rocks? Yes, he can.
Oh, no.
Oh, no!
Inside the
No!
rock.
Peru God! He thought
Peru
he was
God.
getting shot from so many angles, so he thought that that might be the safe angle and just hands it over to y'all.
He went up to his gun right there. Definitely. Oh, goodness. Everyone just getting shot at with his Mini 14.
Oh, see, now Moses is already saying the next level is saying things that are true and having them disagree. That means he's just going to try to bait you even harder.
No,
He's coming for you.
I don't care. I'm going to believe it all, like every time, because otherwise I just can't. I can't function as a human being.
See,
So
you're a nice
that's fine.
person and
Moses,
you're just trusting
trolling,
Moses.
That's fine, because then you know what? This troll joking will be watered down and it won't work anymore. So.
Waller getting dropped there. You can see King's trying to step forward, needs to hit these shots. Caught out in the blue. Remember, this is one of the late game blue, so it actually hits quite hard. As you're running out and forward. Does manage to get ahead of the blue. Now just trying to catch somebody. Turn their back after taking those shots. So that's a knock onto Zoop, but still just trying to stay ahead of the blue, taking so much damage from the blue. Now running out and forward, looking for the duo partner. 1 or 2 bullets is all it's going to take. Opting into a, looked like going for a flush, but then opts away from it. 23 bullets remaining. Keep in mind, no backpack, so that means that a lot of people are starting to burn themselves out of stuff. Does manage to make it over in safety, and Papaya getting himself a kill.
Papaya, papaya.
All right.
We like papaya.
Looks like we're over here with Diego Gabritas. Nice shots coming out, getting the down on and the flush on the Megazone.
Ô, eu tô achando que os caras ali não tá morto, não. Tava morto, na real.
I really like the way that they're playing this right now, just kind of gatekeeping out, making sure Didn't you just get a
It's
kill on
a
that
dead
person?
body.
Gotta make sure.
I mean,
you know.
everyone's done it. If you haven't, you're probably lying to everybody. That we've all done it once in a while.
Well, last season we saw somebody that was hiding in somebody else's corpse. If
Yeah,
you remember.
that's a strat.
So that has happened a couple of times where somebody was just laying down on top of a corpse and then catches somebody. So I'm not gonna fault him for double checking.
Deixa fechar.
Yeah, definitely
Tá
not.
safe agora.
I actually
Agora tá
unleashed an
tranquilo.
entire clip one time just on one. Confused as heck. So I relate. I get it. Gotta do it. Checking the coastline here, within the river here. The riverbanks.
Eu achei que
And
os
this
caras
is just a
estavam
perfect
mortos.
opportunity to catch kills as people are making their way down.
He just stopped at the window and then looked off screen, and I just clinched.
Oh no, went a little bit wide on that first shot. You can't miss that first shot. There you go, connect with the
nice.
head. Phoenix gets knocked there. Crawling back behind, and now here comes the bait. Can you connect on these shots as he runs over? Zigzagging back and forth. Make it to the rock and should be able to get that res off unless third party comes into effect.
That was a stellar snaking serpentine.
Yeah, I know. It was predicted. Oh, hey, no, you can't stick your butt out over there, man. No! No, Phoenix. Why you do this?
Matou aonde?
Good night, Phoenix. It was fun.
Beleza, beleza, beleza.
Now his
Let's
duo
go,
partner is
Phoenix.
stuck behind that rock after trying to save him in just the worst
Eu
place.
sei.
Feels
Hopefully
bad.
he's got some smokes, but he probably doesn't because he doesn't have a backpack.
Yeah. Smoke's utility gonna be real rough there.
And he, yeah,
I love Blue Power opted into the full bridge troll mode now. Underneath there.
still kind of a dangerous spot, though, if you think about it, because it could be a little pinched.
This is essentially a tale of two towers right now. We've got two wizard towers that are kind of posted up on different parts of the circle across different sides of the river, and they're just trying to take out anybody as they make their approach. So you can see that Diego taking some pot shots over at Bruno, takes him out. Meanwhile, we've got Papaya and Yulal holding down the other wizard tower. Da Vinci and Noran, though, still alive, being very quiet inside the quads that are over there. Or
Yeah,
cubes.
they've got
People call them different stuff.
Yeah, they've,
Oh,
wow!
nice shot, Capritos.
O outro eu tinha matado você. Beleza, beleza. Beleza.
Cabritos, this is his teammate Diego Samura.
Like,
No way, what is that?
go ahead and
Oh, it's a bike.
Yeah, denying, just go ahead and pop out the
Beleza.
tires so that way, waiting, because the circle's about to condense down, you can
Tranquilo.
see the fact that it was either Yulal or Papaya that was playing the lower part of the wizard tower over there, getting ready to hop into a vehicle if needed. So go ahead and take out the tires on it, so now they're forced to run. If
Oh,
necessary.
absolutely, because once this circle comes down
Fechou
like
de
it
novo
does,
na
I
gente.
knew it would
O
probably
pessoal
end
da
up
casa vai ter que
and it
sair
did.
já já.
And see, they
In
know.
the wide open.
Look at this, they just instantly beat him. They get excited. They're like, okay, yeah, we know those other guys are going to have to move now.
Yep. So now they
Relaxa,
are able to
relaxa.
hold down,
Eles
they,
não
if
vão
they
sair,
wanted,
eles
they
vão
could
ficar no
retreat back
muro,
onto
eles vão
that
ficar no
line
muro.
of the
Eu tenho uma granada, qualquer coisa eu faço.
cubes, as you called
vai
it.
dar bom, vai dar bom.
All right, so now it's just going to be a post up
Calma,
here.
calma, calma.
Yeah, a lot of people are
calma.
probably
Se
going to want
matou
to try
ali,
to take
vai vivo aquilo ali.
you,
Okay.
into the
Se
water,
matou ali
maybe.
no
This is the
185.
downside of using some of those bright colored skins.
É?
Is it a person, he thinks? He's like, is it?
De perna
I'm not
vermelha?
sure.
Ah, é.
Nah, he's,
Right.
see, yeah, see that. It was somebody that was
Ó,
sprawled out
smoke,
back over there.
smoke, tão fazendo.
Oh, going for the peek off to the side of it after throwing down the smoke. So that just kind of draws attention back over. So now curious. Now the smoke's fully plumed. So they have the capabilities of at least running forward. They could, if they opted in, they were capable of carrying enough smokes. They might be able to make it down to the river. But even then, you have to swim underneath the bridge to get away from this sniper
But
position.
it's still so risky getting in the water because when you're in there, you can't defend yourself. If you start getting shot at, you can only shoot back if you get out. Oh my goodness! Why? He said, look, here's my face. Go ahead and shoot it.
He lives.
Esse
How?
cara não morre, mano.
How? I think he's saying the same thing. I'm just saying, how is he
Ah,
still
de boa, de boa,
alive?
relaxa.
He's still behind that
Vamos ver.
rock. After running over there to
Vamos ver.
save his friend, he just steps out, takes a couple bullets, and is like, okay, okay.
He's
Now,
gotta be so
bright
weak.
note is his teammate is now lying there dead. So maybe he has some meds for him.
Possibly.
Keep on giving and dead.
Yeah, maybe. The silver lining, Matchroom. You
Silver
are dead.
lining.
Thank you. I will take your meds and live on in our name, our team name, so we can get the chicken dinner because that's all that matters. As long as one person makes it, right?
All right, so you can see all Papaya. They did manage to make it over the rock. So they are inside the safe zone. About to get a new condensed down, see where the new safe zone's about to be at. At this point, it needs, in my opinion, I want it to shift out and away. Get away from the cubes, get away from the wizard towers.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is, if we do, Yulal and Papaya still have to cross this river.
I was gonna say they better hope that it kind of comes down a little bit so they don't, so they can have a little bit of that land still right there. Otherwise, yes, they're gonna have to make that trek across.
And they also do have Operator that's right next to them. Remember Operator we saw taking those pot shots and living just a second ago? I think just right down.
I mean, his armor's got to be just beaten up. So
Yeah.
he's essentially just probably got to look at him wrong.
No helmet.
And his vest was like half damaged. Level 1.
I love the Gandalf. Yes.
I mean, all you can do is laugh.
Alright, so opting into the water, gonna swim down. Remember, we do have loop power that's actually also in a bridge troll position. So gonna go ahead and start swimming at this stage, trying to get ahead of the circle. Like this, assuming the fact that probably not gonna have circle favor, so just waiting for it to opt up.
And that's the other thing is now that they now make it so it's difficult to be underwater for too long. It really doesn't. No, he's going back under.
Oh, like, this reminds me going back into the earlier days of PUBG, whenever the water was like the ultimate safe zone of competitive team would run in there. Managed to make it behind the rock, just bare. Okay, operator lives so narrowly. Oh no, no, no.
Goodbye, operator. The SWAT. You just got swatted.
Laid down. I'm willing to bet it was a shoe that got hit. All right, so now we've all taken a couple fires. Papaya. Run over. Now, see, they know. They have the hard press. They have the hardest job right now. They have to figure out some way to make it across this river with so many people still alive. Listening for the firefights. Hopefully now that they can see, hey, gonna try to steal a kill maybe? See, this would be the point that I would try to run. Whenever everybody else is distracted, all these firefights, you know you have to cross the furthest distance, you have to cross the river, this could be your time to go. But they're opting into trying to get the kills instead. They want to secure the shot so that way they can run across, but Papaya is now down next to him, right next to that tree. So you can see, already we're making the run. 10 seconds, not opting into the res.
Yeah,
at this point, try to secure the kill.
Yeah, at this point he's gonna just leave his teammate behind. Or, okay.
Never leave Papaya behind, it seems. You all gonna run over. This is gonna hurt.
This is, it's already moving. The blue's moving right now. It's, oh goodness. If he gets this off, this is gonna be the res of the season.
But if they run and they jump down inside the river, they could potentially make it over to that thicker side. Gotta run. No, this blue hurts way too bad. You just gotta run straight. Now the problem with it is, remember, you move kind of slow whenever you're swimming, so can they make this over there? I think that they managed to get enough distance that they might be able to do it. Papaya opting into going for a heal, gets it off. Now it's just trying to run back behind them.
Wow, that was amazing, and now they're able to both.
Oh, loop power! Bridge troll coming in. Remember, he's been hiding out over there.
In the water, my goodness. I thought he was actually going to be able to make it a little bit because of, oh, bless you.
Yeah. Excuse you.
A little bit of the water is still in this circle. So as long as nobody can see them on that bank edge, they might be able to survive a little longer. There, he sees him right there on that corner. Oh, yes.
Is he going to be able to sneak up back behind him?
Get that revenge. Let's go.
Papaya trying to sneak up. 5 people alive. Does have a beat on one of them. Took a little bit of damage there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that when you run out of air and you're going, oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
Switching over to full auto. Gets the opportunity for it. There you go. Drops this down to 4. Now, here we go. He's got to figure out his way to get up the side of this. But with those shots, he gave away his position.
Which is fine. It's only 4 alive. Not quite sure just yet if it's any duos left. Possibly one duo.
Papaya, just go to the left, bro. Yeah, okay, there you go.
All right, Mr. Tweeday. Thanks for the follow, man. Look at this. What is this face?
That's why I love Papaya. He has, like, the best emotes.
Papaya, bro.
Papaya is so amazing. I love him. He's, like, so funny. All right, there we go. Just keep it coming.
Yes, everyone keep following because that's all we want to see right now.
Who needs a webcam whenever you've got that?
There better be some follow-through with all of this, Papaya. We need to see some chicken dinner.
Yes, bring it. Papaya, get all of the follows right now.
God. I can't with it right now.
All right, I'm going to ask you. You've got to make that face whenever we come back through.
I'm dying. Oh my God. Somebody. CPR. I need a tissue. I'm like crying.
Now, keep in mind, Papaya just won the last round. He won the cars duel.
He needs a follow-through with this one, too, now.
So now he's managed to make it up into the top 4. Keep in mind, we were joking before about the fact that Papaya tends to survive for a very long period of time without getting kills. That's always the way that he tends to play. He really likes to play very passive, only take the shots that are necessary, and then try to just go off of consistency of points for placement.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with being well-rounded, getting high placement in the ranks, in the where you're seated, and then sprinkle in a little kills. You don't have to go complete aggro to get, to move on.
While we were kind of catching the swim across here and the fighting that happened with it, I'm kind of curious on how the repositions came from. Remember, it was over at the cubes just a second ago. Because, I mean, Papaya has himself a pretty strong place to fight from. There's a little bit of a divot that he can make use of.
He's got to go into it. Oh, no.
See, you can step up and use the rock, but once he does, he's essentially just making a profile. I mean, that's the risk of once he went with that profile. You can see everybody starting to beat in.
Please,
nowhere to go.
Did he say please?
Please, no.
Oh,
Please, no.
Papaya!
Oh, there we go. Watching Papaya get taken out. It's like, oh, Okay.
Gosh.
I don't want to go that way.
É o que tá na direita.
All
Puta,
right,
palha
down to
dupla, então.
3.
So Palomina's still alive.
1v.
Aí, do teu lado, do teu lado.
Taking the pot shots, and there we go. Mario Jr. now down. So this is a 2v1 situation, now turned into a 1v1 situation. But naturally, the person we're with right now just got the down. Spins back around, can't quite get it. So Palomina's taking down everybody there towards the end of it. So Palomina's great shot.
Wow, congratulations. That was epic. I literally thought I was going to get that right there, but X-Burger Duplo was able to come up over that ridge line, get that kill, secure the win.